astrology is a tool, can we use it as a predictive astrology? Can we predict a future?
Astrologers are not supposed to make predictions, and they're not supposed to tell people what to do. They're supposed to help the people to understand the process of how the universe works.
What is this difference between, if we are talking about Christianity, then people just see it as there is a differentiation between God. Either you talk about Jesus Christ. In Islam, they have a different set of beliefs. And when we talk about Hinduism, we have different deities, different
It's not
bhagwan.
Hindu. It's not Hindu, and it's not an ism, and it's not a religion. It's what I just said it was, and theirs is not. They don't have a language with a large vocabulary. They do not have the knowledge that I was just referring to. They're ignorant. They're blind faith only. They have no real understanding of who we are, and they think we live for one lifetime. In fact, they're abysmally ignorant and arrogant because they try to superimpose a one lifetime uneducated youth on the world. And they've been trying to do that for years at gunpoint. The good news is the Vedas isn't taught at gunpoint. That's also not going to happen.
So can you give any example that if we talk about Islam and if we talk about Christianity?
Well, I don't need to tell you much about gunpoint with Islam. That's what they are. I call it Islam. I call them I slam all of you. Because they just pull their weapon out and say, we're right, you're wrong, do or die. One lifetime. Same thing for Christianity. That's where the Pope ended up. That's where everybody else ended up. Same thing. Colonized the world, stole everything at gunpoint. In the name of who? Jesus. I see. You mean that really nice guy, Jesus? He wanted to rob the world? Well, that's what you did. And and Judaism? Well, less than, but still the same. Same small-minded, same limited viewpoint, same no explanation for more than one lifetime. So they're all various degrees of sincere, which I always say. They have moments of sincerity and genuineness. So that also matters. But what they don't have is knowledge beyond their one little, small, not very interesting book, which doesn't teach about time. So Kalohi Smin, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma Nasochiti Nakankshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Para. It leads to a state of understanding of the person behind it all. And God doesn't mean that. There is no discussion of the person of the Supreme in the Bible, in Judaism, in Islam, none. But this is the basis of what? Purna Avatar. When that ultimate person, Sri Bhagavan, comes to earth, which happened 7,000 years ago and 14,000 years ago, from which we get the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. So, and the reason I'm saying it this way with you, which I really appreciate, and it is that this is what the world needs to hear gently, respectfully, when they're ready. So I never force people to hear this. I don't point my finger at them and tell them they're stupid. I just say, when you're ready, I'll give you another view. What kind of viewpoint? Mahatma. The big view. Well, you have the small view. That's nice you have a view, but it's small. It's one lifetime, a little bit this, a little bit this, a little bit this.
But Jeffrey ji, there are different negative characters in Hindu scriptures as well who try to impose their thoughts on people. If you take Ravan, if you take Kans, Shakuni is the one character, and there are many in Mahabharata. So how do you see these characters?
Well, I never said there weren't crazy, ugly, nasty people in the world. They're called Asura. And Sura, the word Sur is the root of Surya, the sun. So there are some humans who have decided to be in darkness, or some beings. They not even lose their humanity. They're just a being, and they're an asura. They're a monster. There are monsters that are here on our planet right now and at every time in history. And they just go around destroying everything, exploiting everything, sucking the life out of people. They're vampires, the Frankensteins, they're monsters. Yeah, they are. And that is what the Mahabharata was about. And so it's a great question. In both books, the Ramayana, 14,000 years ago, and the Mahabharata, 7,000 years ago, which blows all the other one lifetime religions out of the water. They don't know anything about anything that long. But that's the historical, astrological dating of the Vedic culture. And so therefore, the people that won't listen to that are in blind faith religions, and they're blinded, so they don't listen. But if they pay attention, Jyotish can show them with astronomy the actual cycles of the grahas, of the planets. And those cycles of the planets are measurable, and we're in the midst of that measurable reality, which has been completely ignored by the Abrahamic religions.
All right. Okay. Since you have a great knowledge of astrology, Vedic astrology, can we see rebirth in our natal chart, in the Vedic chart? Or we can say Kundli?
Well, like your question about Rahu and Ketu, it's important. Rahu represents one possibility, which means you could become as materialistic as you possibly could, greedy, selfish, just about me, take. That's Rahu personified. So that's Rahu in matter. Or you could become Ketu, and you could say, no, I don't care. No, I don't care what I own. No, all I need is a meal today and, a loincloth. I'm okay. So that's Ketu. So then there are two states. Greedy for matter and getting a big pile of it and trying to get as much as I can, Rahu. And this is a character. You know these people. I know these people. And then there's Ketu. Couldn't care less. Nope. Only needs one outfit or two. One's in the laundry. I'm wearing this one. That's Ketu. I don't need this. I don't need that. Not iti. So then that's two planets. So now if you have Ketu prominent in your chart, you're going to be the one who doesn't care and isn't attached to matter. And that's because you've worked on that in previous lifetimes and brought that Ketu in with you this lifetime. So now, which do I have stronger, Rahu or Ketu?
That's a tricky question, I guess. Now, let me just...
I'll tell you what she just did. She's smart enough in astrology, and I actually have both sides of it strong. But
you tell me which one is more on the presentable side in my chart.
Yes. I'll tell you something interesting. I actually made a full-time living for 7 years ridiculing technology and saying how crazy it was.
All right.
As a corporate speaker to Fortune 500 companies, I created a character, Saint Silicon, the founder of the world's first computer religion, CHIP, the Church of Heuristic Information Processing. It's the first computer religion. Why did I do that? To make fun of technology and say that technology was ruining humanity. And it still is. If you're not careful, technology will ruin your humanity. So
do you think AI will overpower humanity?
Well, I don't know. The jury's out still. But if we're not careful, I know it will. Because I've seen it. All around the planet. And I was in the midst of Silicon Valley when it was born. So I knew Steve Jobs, Wozniak, the whole crew. I was there when the computers came into being and selling them. I worked for Apple and for other technology companies. My point was, Ketu, if you go to the extreme, you have nothing. A loincloth, a few possessions, they're in my little bag, here, we're done. Rahu, if you go to the other extreme, I'm a billionaire. But not all billionaires are evil. If I'm a Rahu billionaire, I might just take care of the whole world with my riches and my money and my billions of dollars. So it's interesting.
It is interesting, no doubt. And I have, I will say 2 sentences. You just correct me if I'm wrong. Rahu is responsible for illusion and Ketu is a headless energy. How do you see that?
Rahu is drunk on materialism and Ketu is renouncing the whole thing unnecessarily at its extreme. So both of them, they're the 2 extremes. You can go naked with just a loincloth, own nothing, and say, this is me. Hi, I'm Ketu. Or you can be Rahu and have everything and own everything and control with everything. And I'm nothing but the money I have. I'm all about that billions of dollars I have. Welcome to Rahu.
Exactly. So let's just come on to the 8th house, because it's what we call the mysterious house of the Kundli. If someone is having Rahu sitting or Ketu sitting in the 8th house, what does that mean? Do they have any connection with the past life?
Well, all of us has connections with past life. But the degree to which and the things that are coming from each of these so-called houses, which for those of you who don't exactly understand, at the moment of your birth, the sky can be divided into 12 departments. Of the 360 degrees of the circle, then there's 30 degrees and times 12 is 360. So there are 12 different departments in your chart. And those departments each represent an area of life. But so do the planets, and they're the ones that are bringing something in from a particular department of life. You might say that's importing. And where the stars are is part of this. So this is where we go with Jyotish. That Rahu at its extreme is the wealthy person who's exploiting their wealth and exploiting the world because they can. On the other hand, if Jupiter was strong enough and in the right place, the person with a strong Rahu would be funding thousands of organizations and benefiting the whole world. They would use their strong Rahu because their Jupiter would overpower it and not be distracted by being a billionaire. But the exploiting billionaire, Rahu at his worst. The beneficial billionaire, Rahu at his best. But you can be pretty sure that if Rahu's strong and Jupiter is also stronger, then the person will be Jupiter and they will use Rahu in the service of Jupiter. And so it goes. So I'll tell you the biggest secret here as an astrologer. A properly trained astrology does not tell people what to do. Nor do they make predictions.
That's the crux of the story.
What they do is they point to different departments so that the person still can decide. Or as my guru put it, if you tell someone what to do, you eat their karma.
All right.
So as a Jyotishi, I never tell people what to do. I show them what they could do and what their choices are. But the way I show it is designed to work for their particular karma and their particular planets. So I speak the language of the planets that they have strong, and I show them how they might be in charge of their decision rather than just dragged along by the past.
But what if a person is going to an astrologer and if the Jupiter is weak or the Rahu is weak or retrograde, some planets are retrograde, then the astrologer is asking them to offer water to Surya, right? Or offer milk to moon, there are certain remedies which are called as the karmic remedies. How much is correct? These things are correct.
That's called upayam.
Upaya remedies.
Yeah. And so some of it is useful, but actually it's the secondary problem that's come up is that Jyotish has been manipulated into a materialistic science when in fact it's all about moksha. It's ultimately, it's important to keep the ultimate aim in mind. So what is the ultimate aim of human existence? And if you don't answer moksha, you're going to manipulate with astrology. If you say moksha, then you'll know better than to use astrology to manipulate because it's insider information. I, as someone who's been practicing this for so many years now, I can see something in someone's life, and if I want to, I can exploit it because I can see it. So it's like having inside information. It's like having, so this is the thing that's important. Jyotish and the Vedic culture are all based around devas and devis.